Welcome to the man's review.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
What's happening, man? We back here to review another movie that we watched that we need to give
Two
to you.
times.
You heard me. You got 2 movie reviews in the same week. God, dog, we overdoing this.
Working, man. We working.
Working hard. We are reviewing one of my favorite movies of all time. Right here. Can you see that? Can you see that scene right there? The
Oh yeah.
Matrix. You heard me?
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
shit, the wrong way. The
Oh
Matrix.
yeah.
That's
That's
what
from
we're
Reloaded.
reviewing.
Oh yeah. That's from Reloaded. Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Matrix
Uh-huh.
Resurrections came out, HBO Max in the movie theaters, and we gonna review it. We're
Sure
gonna
enough.
do we're
You're
gonna do
right.
how we normally do it. We're gonna give you the spoiler-free review at the beginning. We're
Mm.
gonna give you the spoiler review at the end. So stick with us, listen to
Okay.
us. We bounce all over the place, just like if you was talking with your partners. We're not gonna just go straight through the movie. We bouncing all over the place.
Yeah.
Keep
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
You heard me.
Yeah.
But first
Yeah. Yeah.
off,
Yeah.
how did you feel about the movie? What's your initial thoughts, man? Get the people.
Man, when I watched it, I'm not gonna lie to you, man.
Mhm.
After I sat back and I thought about it, not gonna lie to you, man. I was okay with it. You know what I'm talking about? Didn't bother me. Didn't bother me.
Mhm.
Nah, I read a lot of reviews, heard a lot of this, a lot of that, you
Mhm.
know. Um, but for me, I was okay watching it. Like I didn't have no problems, you know. I'm cognitive of some of the scores and some of the naysaying that was going on about the movie, the film itself, going into it. But I like I'm not gonna let your rating be my own. I'm a
Mhm.
grown ass man. I could decide for myself. You know
Mhm.
what I'm talking about? I pay taxes. I
Mhm.
pay bills, motherfucker.
You
You know
hear
what
me?
I'm saying? I don't need you to tell me how I'm gonna feel about what I watch.
Mhm.
So that's first and foremost. But yeah, I didn't have a problem with the movie. You know what I
Okay.
mean? 2.5 hours. I think it was 2.5.
Yeah, it was about two
It was
thirty-eight.
long.
Somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, it
That's
was a
good.
little long. It was a little long, but
Mhm.
I got what I wanted from it. I mean,
Mhm.
we'll get into the more and the unspoiler, portion,
Mhm.
but or the spoiler free section. This is the spoiler free. So when we, talk about whatever, what I mean,
Mhm.
y'all know what I'm talking about.
Me being the connoisseur of the Matrix that I am, and the lover
Mm,
of the Matrix that I am personally,
mm-hmm,
um, I thought the movie was okay. I
mm-hmm.
also saw what you saw. People saying the movie. I mean, IGN scored the movie a 4 out of 10, and 4 is bad. Like they said, a bad movie. I said, damn. I was nervous before I went in there and watched it. I
Mm-hmm.
was also nervous. I have it written down in my phone. December the 16th. I said, I'm a little nervous about this movie because all I'm hearing is Keanu Reeves is such a nice guy. And I'm like, what they got to do with the Matrix?
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves has made 1,000 movies, but all y'all keep on talking about how nice this nigga is. Is the movie gonna be trash? That's what was going through my head the whole time. I was nervous. Just
Okay.
just gotta tell the truth. But when I
Mm-hmm.
saw it, I first off I want to say I think this movie is a movie that you should watch at on HBO Max at the house.
Yeah, we
And
ain't gotta go to the theater.
yes. And but the only reason I'm saying this is because sometimes you might have to press pause to get the train. You gotta think of it. You gotta think a little bit. Sometimes on some of the stuff that's going on, you be like, I can't let this happen
Mm-hmm.
too fast because I'm gonna lose it. I'm like, what's going on? Okay, I got you. This happened in this movie, connecting the dots.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Some people may be a little faster than I am, but me, I needed, hey, pause real quick. Me and Kim talking about
Mm-hmm.
it, and then unpause. Let's go. Let's watch it some more. You know what I'm saying? But the only good thing about this movie, while you watching it, they answer a lot of questions that you may have while you watching it. The pacing may be a little off. I think the pacing of the answering of some questions maybe threw people, and people didn't like it, like that part. I can see why somebody would say they didn't like it, but I can't see why you would give it a 4 bad. Like bad movie. It's not a bad movie. I just want to say that first off.
I think it's about the expectations of what they wanted to happen against what actually was filmed. So, I mean, if they literally covered everybody's desires, the movie would be 24 hours long because the Matrix is fucking complex. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know if you're in, you don't know if you're out. What's real? What's not?
In certain parts in this movie, they made you feel like that. Is this really going on, or is this not? It made you feel like that. It's not like I don't want to say too much. Just spoiler free time, so I don't want to say too much just right now. But some parts it make you feel like you don't know if we watching something or we watching something else. Like what is what?
I was there. I was there. I said, "Boy, I need to take the red pill. Did I take a blue pill? Like what? I'm jacked in right now. You know what I'm talking about? Check my fingertips. You know what my fingertips feel. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hey.
That's an inside joke, y'all. Once y'all watch the movie, you'll understand that. All right. That's all I'm gonna say. It's an inside joke right there.
I want before we go into the spoiler, to the spoiler free, I got to give some vague unlikes that don't have nothing to do with people watching the movie.
Okay.
And my main one, because the other one I'm gonna talk about on the spoilers part. My main one is some of the graphics and how some of the stuff was executed. On the trailer, I can say this because it was on the trailer. You see Keanu Reeves doing this thing like this, and he blocking bullets and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Some of the graphics just didn't look as good to me as that. To me, some of these graphics don't even look good as the original one used to look. They had a part on there when I can't say that because that's spoiler. We're gonna say that for later. It just the graphics. I think it seemed like on certain parts of the movie they rushed it. They didn't have as much time, or it feels like they wasn't given the same budget that you was given for the original franchise. On certain parts, that's where it felt like, and it was felt like there was some parts was cut short because of that. It was like the graphics wise, and it was throwing me off a little bit sometimes. But other than that, I thought the movie was okay. I didn't have a problem with the movie.
Okay.
Anything you had that threw off that you're not spoiling it for the people? Because this is about all the spoiler free stuff we about to give them, man.
That's about it, y'all. I'm about
to get up out of here.
Like next thing I might say might be inclusive of
exactly
the actual movie. So I don't want to do that to y'all. Just like we said, it is a decent enough watch for you not to feel like you wasted your time. To me, to France, you know what I mean. We've watched me and him. We're probably the most movie knowledgeable individuals in our whole circle. Okay, I'm talking children movies to cartoons to grown. It don't matter. Like me and him, probably the only ones that can go head, toe to toe when we do what was that game? The one that the game night at your crib. Scenery, whatever that joint was called.
Seen it? Is that Seen it?
Seen it. There you go. Seen it. Mm-hmm. So I mean, we've done that, and they didn't allow me and him to be on the same team. That's how potent we are. Okay, they said, no, y'all not on the same team. Y'all gotta be, what I'm talking about. Y'all gotta go head to head. So I mean, that just lets you know we really do this. We really do this. All right. If it's trash, I'm gonna tell you it's trash.
Before we get to the spoiler part, what do you rate it? Let me get a rating from you.
Ooh, out of 5?
You want to do 5? Yeah, let's do 5.
Out of 5? Damn. Because it wasn't the strongest, but it wasn't the weakest. Man. I mean 3.75.
You love these 7.5s. You know what I'm talking about?
I'm just trying to round up just enough. You know what I'm talking about? Make niggas feel like it's a 4.
I'm gonna come in right under there. a 3.5. You know what I'm talking about? A three and a
Okay.
half. That's what I'm
All
gonna
right.
do.
All
I
right.
give
No
it a three and
problem.
a half. Close to 3, in between a 3.5 and 3 range right there.
Okay.
That's what I got.
No man.
So let me pull you a 3.25. That's what I do.
Okay.
3.25.
All right. There you go. Man, you got boy.
You know what I'm
Everybody
saying? Three
always
and
get halves, man. Everybody
a,
always give a half. 2.5,
yeah.
3.5, 3. Like, nah, man. What about the 0.25s? They
Right.
want love too. The increments of that. You know what I'm saying? 0.25, 0.75. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you. That's our new thing. You know what I'm saying? 3.25. You heard me?
Sure.
Thank y'all for the people that did not watch the movie. You heard what we had to say. Go check it out. Then
Yeah.
watch this part. You have been warned. This is the spoiler part of the show now. We are spoiling it
Yes.
all. So if you
We're
don't
gonna get
know,
into it.
now you know. I don't want to hear shit from you. You hear me?
We're gonna get
So
into it.
this should be the people that didn't watch it already. Okay. My people.
Mm-hmm.
They had good
Talking to
things,
y'all.
bad. What's
Talking to
up?
y'all.
Okay, my bad.
You
They
said
had
my
good things
people. We talking to y'all.
talking to y'all. We had good things, bad things that happened in this movie. I want to talk it through book. Like he said, we're more knowledgeable. So I'm going to be more talking and seeing how he feels about this. The first thing, just because it was like first 20 minutes of the movie, I
Okay.
hated the premise of this video game. I hated the premise of the Matrix video game. To
Okay.
me, it spoiled my movies that I'm accustomed to. It cheapened. It tried to cheapen. It felt like it tried to cheapen my movies. But this is when you have to use your pause buttons. You know what I'm talking about? Because later on in the movie, you figure, actually, matter of fact, you ain't even gotta go later on. If you think about the old movies, matter of fact, the last movie that came out, third one, Revolution, or yeah, I think it was
I think
Revolution.
that's right. I think that's right.
They said that they will allow them to allow the people to know that they're in the Matrix. They said they will let them do it. Those that want to be free can be free. That was the old architect came and he said that with old girl with the Oracle. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it seemed like the machines finessed the game. They said, you know what? I'm gonna leave you these little memories. You make a video game, you telling everybody about the Matrix, but everybody's just gonna enjoy the video game. We did our part. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I couldn't appreciate it until I stopped and thought about it. But during the
All right.
movie, I hated the premise of this video game. It just felt like it cheapened my movie experiences all or the first, second, and third one. How you felt about that, man? Did that even cross your mind? You was good?
Nope, didn't bother me.
Didn't bother you?
Didn't bother me.
Oh, okay.
It didn't bother me like that. You know, I'm talking about like when I was pausing. This is the crazy thing.
Mm-hmm.
I literally paused it like, or I tried to catch it like so many times, but it was like a blink. You know what I'm saying? That scene as well.
Mm-hmm.
Neo, he's in the office, or Mr. Anderson at the time. Thomas is in the office, and he has the matrix up on one monitor, and then whatever he's got going on the other one.
Mm-hmm.
And as they pan around the room, it says something about 1999 Matrix, and then I kept. It took me 5 times to figure out what the hell it said.
What did it
Game
say?
of the year, or
Oh,
something
game of the
like
year.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? But man, goddamn, what the fuck? So I kept doing it. I felt like I was in there, you know what I'm talking about? So I was on it like that. So I was like, I didn't have a problem with it, but I do, like you was mentioning right there. I do recall them saying, we're gonna let people know and let them decide which, lifestyle they choose to live. So they might have could have did it a different way other than a video game, but nowadays video games is the biggest outlet. You know what I'm saying? Like, who don't play video games, whether it's on an actual gaming console or on a computer itself? You know what I mean? So I think that's the biggest way, or your phone. That's the biggest way to tap into everybody. So I mean, maybe that was the logic behind it. I don't know. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I think because we physically, I guess when you play a game, you physically plugged in to a system. So it's like I think it was just another probably a metaphor for what's going on. Triple, quadruple entendre. You know what I'm saying? Whatever they want to do. You
It's
know what I'm
deep.
talking about? Battle
Deep.
rapper. Yeah, it was deep. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it's
But
deep, boy.
unfortunately, you can't get that if you just watch the movie straight through in a movie theater. You got to pause sometimes. I'm gonna keep on coming back to this pause shit. Earlier, I talked about the graphics. They had
Okay.
parts in here that to me I didn't like. I especially didn't like when they shot at Agent Smith. And kudos to this Agent Smith. I thought he was very cool and I liked him. I might be in the minority, but I liked Agent Smith.
I think you are.
I liked him a lot because everybody had a makeover. You know what I'm saying? Even Keanu Reeves, he supposedly looked different to everybody else. What they did was they just made him. They made him just look different. They like this nigga. Oh, Hugo? What's his name? Hugo Weaving, I think his name is the original Agent Smith.
I know Hugo's last
Yeah,
name. Yeah,
his name is Hugo
don't get me
something.
on the first name.
He probably old as hell. He ain't gonna be doing all the moves and shit. He probably can't still. It's
He's
like
he was in Marvel, Captain America. The nigga with the red face. The what they call
but he wasn't
themselves?
doing nothing no more.
Yeah,
The last movie, all he did was stand there and told one of you motherfuckers gotta die. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all he said, man.
Hey, man, all they had to do, but check it, France, like everybody else had their little alternate face when they looked in a reflection or something.
Yeah.
They could have at least did that for him, but show his real face in the reflection. You see what I'm saying? Like that would have like
they kind of did it with the flashbacks, showing that was him. They kind of I think it probably could have happened a little bit better, but I'm not mad at this dude who played Agent Smith. I like that he had the swag to him, and he said, "Yo, something wrong." When he was beating his ass, he said, "Yo, something wrong. You missing something, nigga. Like this ain't the nigga I used to fight back in the day. Like what's wrong with you?" Like he was whooping his ass.
That when that boy when he took the sink off, I was like, okay, Neo gonna block this. No, sir. He took all that. He took all that faucet.
I like that.
And nigga took every drip of that, boy. I'm like, God damn.
I like every time he pulled up, except when he wasn't Agent Smith. Before when it clicked on him, when that first time the gun fell, he picked that shit up. From then on, I liked him. I didn't like the boss version of him. But from then on, I liked him. I thought he was dope. And I liked some of the jokes they had in there. They was like, they said, I know at the beginning you said that we got along good as well as an FBI interrogation. You remember he said that? I like some of the jokes and some of the stuff they was doing in there. I think they could have stopped on some of them. It was kind of a little overload of backwards, but at the same time, I'm like, some people haven't seen this movie. So it's newer people, younger people that's watching this. So I'm not going to harp on that. That's just the movie enthusiast in me. How you feeling, man? What you got? What's some more stuff you
got? It's more or less the people that they was missing, man. They brought back every damn body. I mean, they immortalized Morpheus. We'll get to that. You immortalized him. He did. But in other movies, there are ways, especially if you're a, artificial whatever, why y'all couldn't make Morpheus? Why it had to be this Morpheus? Why it had to be this remixed version of Morpheus who couldn't even get out? He was trapped inside. And I get he's a what they call him, a modal or whatever they call that nigga.
He programmed him. Yeah.
He's a program. But he couldn't get out. But he was alive inside of the Matrix, but he wasn't tapped into the Matrix. But he was cognitive of what was going on around him, but he wasn't. It threw me off with that. You know what I mean? Like you got everybody else is sheep, and then you got a goat walking around, in the midst of them, trying to blend in. Like I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like
it threw me, until the pause button. Like I'm
Okay.
with you on that. They they need to have Lawrence Fishburne back in this movie because to me,
I wish
I
they
can see
did.
like if it constantly repeats or whatever like that, and Morpheus is the person, I would want like if they make another movie, them to say like, no, y'all thought we killed Morpheus, but we had him somewhere different, so he couldn't wake you up. We thought he was gonna wake you up,
Mm.
so we had to have him. We killed him. He in a pod somewhere else. Like if they make another one, I want that movie to be we gonna get Morpheus from over here in the pod because we held him captive just as long as you because
Mm.
we knew he the only motherfucker that's gonna wake you up and you know what I'm saying. But the thing that I think they misstepped with is they took canon from the game, the video game.
Mm.
They had an old computer Matrix game, and in that
Okay.
Matrix game, Morpheus went to go get Neo's body, and he was trying to fight him, and he died in that. That's how he died.
Oh.
And the reason I know this is because I'm such a big Matrix fan,
Mm-hmm.
and I watched IGN had a history of the Matrix. You know what I'm saying? And on the history of the Matrix, they had they showed the game part of it too. They did the Animatrix because I watched that, and then they had the
Mm.
game version of it too, and they talked about Morpheus dying. And the only reason they
Okay.
highlighted because they said they heard that the movie is going off of part of the game script too. I think they should have
Mm.
canceled that game shit and just went from everything else. They could have had Morpheus in there, but I understand it. You know what I'm saying? But if you made him, you could make a fat Morpheus if they think because he bigger or something. You could have just coded him to look like he did, but just looked a little overweight.
I
And
mean,
then
I don't care if he the blackish Morpheus. You know what I'm talking about? I don't care how he look.
yeah,
Y'all could have did Boys in the Hood Morpheus. I don't
yeah,
care how he look, but you have to have Lawrence Fishburne in this movie and not incorporate it just as a flashback for this nigga to mimic and say his lines. Like that's not gonna cut it for me. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? That didn't work for me. Like I really wanted to see that. You know what I mean? So I wanted to see that. Who else was missing, man?
We did Smith. We did Morpheus.
Yeah.
How
And
do you
everybody
feel
else.
about Jada Pinkett, man?
Uh, I didn't need her. I can say that much. I didn't really need her. You know what I'm saying? Like she wasn't that instrumental to me. She was more of a hindrance, and it seems as though um, eh, there was an entanglement when she entered the movie itself. It took me a second to look at her. Like I really just thought it was an old lady
Yeah.
until they said her name,
Uh,
and then I was like, well, Neo said her name, and I was like, oh shit. I'm like, that is, you know what I'm saying? They did a great job with her costume and makeup, brother. Like they had me on that one. And unbeknownst to me, I did not know she was in the movie. So yeah, man. I don't know, man. She just seemed as though she wasn't. Her beliefs and ideals had changed. I understood why. Um, I would say she was more of a. Oh man, I want to think of who I can correlate her to via the 100. She turned into, it's not Clark, but Clark was like this for a minute to where it was all about my people, only my people.
yeah.
Um, shit, who was in charge? What God?
I can't remember the name. I can't remember the names, man.
Yeah, but it's somebody that was like that. You know what I mean? Like they forgot what they was actually, what they stood for,
Mm-hmm.
and then it shifted. And I think that's what she turned into. You know what I mean? She started to rely, and granted, and rightfully so, her being, the commander general. I got to look out for my people. So it felt as though she took on the reins of the commander who was her husband. I forget, nigga with the
Yeah.
deep voice.
Mm-hmm.
How he
Lord,
was, and
yeah. The one that didn't want the
So
Nebuchadnezzar to leave. He wanted all the ships there and all that.
exactly.
Yeah, yes.
Exactly. So it seemed as though like over time, and Morpheus said that because I was actually watching Reloaded. He was like, she was like, yeah, I remember you could dance. He was like, some things don't change. You know what I'm saying? And then old boy came around the corner, Niobe. Well, some things change. You know what I'm saying? So it was one of them type joints for me, man. So it's like I said, I think, her ideals obviously kind of gravitated towards who she was with and started to see his, reality more than what she saw for herself as her own. So I can't fault that. That happens, especially in relationships, you know what I mean? Like sometimes it's a blended belief, you know what I'm saying? Or sometimes you can get swayed out of your own and into another. So I think that's kind of what it was. And once the war and it was peacetime, she took her mind off of everything because she did say that, she used to sleep and wait for the alarms to go off. So I think over time, like during that time frame, she was still on. Okay, you know what I mean? But as she started to get good night's rest, she was like, okay, well, shoot, it really is. Let me shift my focus towards something else. So, I mean, with her being as old as she was a young tender. Now she a chicken tender. You know what I'm talking about? It's different. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot different. So I get it. With growth comes new ideals. So that's kind of how I saw that play out.
What they wanted to, it seemed like what they wanted to show was the new girl with the blue hair. She was she's like the young version of Niobe.
How she was, yeah.
Like she's how she was. So they wanted to show like the different versions of that. And old girl kind of was like old girl from Family Matters, the old lady. That looked like they could have been together. You remember old girl from Family Matters, man? The aunt, man. You remember the aunt on Family Matters?
Right? What's her name? Rachel?
Was it cousin Rachel? Aunt Rachel or something? I want to say it was.
Might have been.
But she was the lady that was growing the fruit up in the lab. That was her.
I didn't look at her long enough to tell. I'm gonna have to go back.
But yeah, I think she was the one kind of telling like, you
making
wanted
strawberries.
That. Yeah, she like you wanted her to do that. You still got that in you, basically. I think they were trying to tap on that. I don't think it was executed too well, that part of it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That dynamic between them two. Talking about old girl with the blue hair, I liked her a lot.
Yeah.
I thought she was dope. She was a bright spot in the movie for sure. Liked her a lot. She was dope.
I liked all her symbolism. You know what I mean? Like, even how it starts off. Like when it started off, I was like, "This ain't. Hold up. What Matrix is this?" You know what I'm saying? Like when they were sitting there watching it play out and stuff, I'm like, "This not. It's not what I saw." And you know what I mean? Then it turns into her fight scene. Like I thought it was. This is one thing I hate about the Matrix. Okay, there'd be a million bullets flying through the air. I could literally be standing right in front of you and shoot and still miss. I don't. These niggas suck as marksmen and their agents, and I don't understand boy, these niggas cannot shoot, bro. They like Adrian at the gun range. They just everywhere with the ball. And I ain't even see you, AD, but I know about it. You know what I'm saying? But how was y'all all in front of each other and she just bullets? Y'all not Superman, Superwoman, Supergirl, Wonder Woman. Like how you just dodging bullets?
What you think about that swarm mode though?
Which one?
What you think about that swarm mode when all the motherfuckers turn to zombies and come after their ass? What you think about that shit?
Boy, that was that was like goddamn. That's like something else that I've seen, man, where they was just damn, what movie is that? I got the scene in my head, man. I loved it though. I didn't mind. I liked it. They were jumping out the windows, falling to their death, trying to get Neo and Trinity off the bike. Like I did not mind.
I thought y'all not real anyway. I thought it was dope. Their old Agent Smiths are royalties though, because he was the first one with the swarm mode. You know what I'm talking about? He the one. They stole his whole swag. They stole. They when he talked about the bullet time, when he did the all that, like they stole their swag. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of dope. It was again a homage to the old movie. I didn't the bullet time thing when old dude and Doogie Howser was moving all fast and shit.
Yeah,
I like Doogie Howser, and it made sense the reason why the world is like that. Then I thought it was dope because he took over from the other architect, and he the one running the shit now. I thought that was I liked it. I was like, okay, I can see that. That's fine. Can I tell you the biggest part that I didn't like about this movie?
Sure.
It kind of goes in twofold. My boy Matrix was not flying. I mean, my boy Neo wasn't flying, and that shit pissed me off because I was thinking the same thing. I said, "Why don't you just fly there?" And then they was like, "Can't you just fly?" And then he ducked down. You saw the ground bubble, and then he's like, "I guess not."
That's not gonna work.
Ask Kim. I wish Kim was in here. I told her turn this movie off if this nigga can't fly. I don't want to see it. You know what I'm saying? And then second part is when they jumped off that building. They jumped off the building.
Yeah.
Thought they was gonna make it. And it looked like old girl was dangling off of a rope when she was holding Neo. It didn't look like a float.
Graphics,
it didn't look like a float. It looked like they were just holding her by a string and say, "Yo, hold him and make sure he don't fall." I didn't like that. Also, it's already been proven in the movie that Neo, once he jumped off the building, with old girl they got on lock, he didn't fall. She said, "That's how you want."
She did say that.
She said you didn't fall.
She said that.
Neo
the time when she saw his real face, just for a second, just for a glimpse, she saw his real face, but you never fell.
You never fell. So it's like I didn't understand that part, but they made it up at the end of the movie. At the very end, he was fine. So I mean,
yeah, he lost his mojo, man, and I understand. You know, I didn't like how they had my boy on crack, the Exiles. The nigga with the olive, you know what I'm talking about, and Reloaded.
Yeah,
Mr. Smooth. You know what I'm saying, Mr. Suave.
French man.
I didn't like how he came out like and he just looked crazy, like dirty, filthy, funky, and the rest of the Exile. Like I didn't like, bro. Y'all didn't have to make that dude look like that. Y'all could have gave him, a new resurrection body as well, if necessary. You know what I mean? I didn't like that, man. You know what I'm saying? Where was his wife at? Because she was hot in the movie to me.
I thought for a second that old girl, the little girl growing up, she kind of looked like his wife. I was like, oh, that's his wife right there. And they was like, nah, that's the little girl. I was like, oh, shoot, never mind. Maybe I'm tripping. I thought it was her. I was like, damn, she ain't aged at all.
I liked her. She's like, no, kiss me and I'll give you. What she was going to give him and Reloaded? What was it that he needed?
Man,
in order for him to get something, he had to kiss her.
Oh yeah. With the thing to the key maker, right? Or no, the key maker was already
the name or something about the yeah. So no, kiss me like I was her. But Neo be so weird with his. Okay, that's all he said. Okay. You know what I'm saying? They took off his glasses. I'm like, this nigga here, boy, something else. You know what I'm saying? But that was literally his character the whole time. Okay. You know what I mean? Like Neo didn't know what the hell was going on. The boy was like, it was like he was coming down off of the blue pill the whole entire movie until the very end. You know what I mean? And what I do say I do like about her, I say that I did like is we already are aware of Neo and Trinity's connection. All right. The visions, the power, the do it all. I love you. I won't let this happen to blah, 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 blah. I get all of that. So I started playing with the names. Okay. I was, what they say on the gram, I was today years old.
Yeah.
When I figured, okay. So I was today years old. It was really yesterday, yes, because I watched yesterday. But I'll say for sake of argument, I was today years old when I realized the 1 and Neo are all the same letters.
Yeah, but you tripping on them.
I know, man. All this time, I probably did know it, but I probably forgot about it because it's been so long. So, you know, I'll say that. But then I took it a step further. Follow me, people. Trinity. Okay, Trinity. The first 3 letters, T-R-I. Okay, T-R-I. That's like 3. Okay, T-R-I triangle, 3 sides. Okay, so you got 3 minus 1 is 2, and you need both of them to get the job done. Hence their connection. You see what I'm saying? Every time they got close, you know what I'm saying? Shit was imbalanced. Well, it was imbalanced, but it destroyed shit. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's a bad way that I put it, people, but I like how, you know, it sounds good. It sounds good, but it's dumb. But it sounds good. You know what I'm talking about? Don't worry about how I got there when I got there, but I get there. But I liked how they harped on and gave it a different meaning, though. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to, oh, this is just the love of my life. I love her. Let me get back to her. I saw her. Trinity, Neo. I don't. Nobody want to see all that bullshit. I want to see shit get wrecked. You know what I'm talking about? I want to see if this nigga gonna get his powers back. Are you his actual battery for him to be supercharged? And that's exactly how it looked. You know what I mean? Like when they got together, it was all boy. Trinity was the man in that relationship. Like. Shit, it really wasn't you, Neo. It really wasn't you. Trinity the wrecker. You know what I'm talking about? Trinity that one. You just along for the ride.
I didn't like that part of it. You kind of.
Oh man, I love it.
It was cool to a certain extent, but it's like, yo, we watched the other movies. We know what's going on. They said it was one person that made the Matrix. The only way that you could explain that, I heard somebody theorize, they said when he went inside of her and took the bullet out, scooped the bullet out and pumped her heart back, he left some code in her. So the missing part of the code left in her could be what jumpstart her to be part of the one as well, whatever. That could be the change, because when he was with the architect, he told him, you got 2 decisions. You got to choose one. And he went to go get his woman and got her before she fell into her death. So that theory, you know what I'm saying? We don't know if this is true or not. Just theory, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not mad at that one. So I accept it. To me, it's real life now. What else? I mean, I can't think of nothing else that was really real big to talk about like that. Trying to think. Anything else you got?
Nah, man. Like you said.
No, that shit was awful, man. I hated that shit. And I'm mad, like, he could have did his Hadoukens a little different. Like, even when he was blasting shit, he was like he was scared, man. Like, yo,
like covering his eyes, like,
the Neo I know stop bullets with one hand and just pick one up and just say, yeah, this ain't shit. That's the Neo I know. I don't know no scary ass Neo doing this shit like that. I don't know that nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Getting his ass whooped by digital Morpheus. You know what I'm talking about? Like all of that, bro. Like I understand that. Hey, what was that? That was Neo. Like, why you couldn't tap into that, bro? Like and the crazy thing is, you went through the fight scene. You don't know me. Like when he said that to Morpheus, I thought, oh, this nigga, he awake now. Oh, goddamn, this nigga ready to whoop your ass. Like, boy, you just don't know. And was proceeded to get his shit caved in the entire time. Until he said, man, if you don't want to, you know, if you want to see her, then you gotta, you know what I mean? And that's when he, you know, I'm like, bro, come on, man. Like, dude, like, you just having to basically to survive, like to fight to live, wasn't strong enough for you to like tap into that. It took for him to threaten Trinity. Like, bro, you was about to die yourself. Like, what is you doing? So I don't understand that, but I thought that he would have unlocked something, and then, you know, fighting the new Smith, I thought he would have tapped into something as well. Like for a second, he showed himself. his true self for like 2 seconds, and then that proceeded to get slammed up against the wall. You know what I'm talking about? Again. So I'm like, he just seemed super weak in this movie to me, man. I didn't like that. Just like you said, off of what we seen once he tapped into his potential of how he's able to fight everybody. And I just didn't get that, man. I got some old simp scared ass nigga. You know what I'm talking about? Like he pissed me off because you was in there looking like John Wick, but you was in there looking like John Bitch. I didn't like that, man. I didn't like that. So maybe I don't know what's going on with the boy. You know what I'm talking about? Maybe he tired. Maybe he was shooting both movies at the same time. Why he looking like that? I don't know, bro. But I needed more effort in the Matrix. You know what I'm saying? I know John Wick just, we know that, man. You the white equalizer. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it. But come on, man. You got to do better. Like, I do like that they left the door open for, obviously a follow-up. You know what I mean? Because clearly it's going to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's going to happen. So
I mean, it just depends on how they end up, because a lot of people were trashing it. So hopefully they don't just abandon it. I think they don't need to. They can just keep on going with this if they want to. They can have another movie. I don't see no reason why you should stop it, to be honest. But
who's gonna be the nemesis this time?
Smith. You still didn't
It
get
looked
Smith.
like they was best friends. But it looked like he was best friends.
He just he even on the third movie, well, even on the second and third, once he got unplugged, he hated the system more than he hated Neo, but he hated the system just as much. So the only reason he was helping because he found somebody he hated a little bit more than Neo. So that was the only reason he was helping. He was like, man, I want this nigga to die. He said, because when he said, he was like, honestly, when you broke free, it broke me free.
Yeah.
So he like, shoot, I'm here to create havoc now. Shoot, I can do what I need to do now. So we gonna see. But guys, where else can you get this kind of oversight in the Matrix, in any kind of movie? You know what I'm talking about?
Delve in. I'm talking about.
Booker, thank you for coming in here, laying it down only the way you can lay it down. To give
Appreciate you, bro.
Man.
Appreciate it.
Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. The next big movie, we'll be back here to give you the movie review that only we can give you, the man's review. We'll holler at y'all later. Peace out.
That's right.